What we are going to cover in this training program? Basics of R, and then we create a STTM dataset using R, creation of a Adam datasets using the packages of a Funverse, which is the Admiral packages, and creation of a table listing figure using R. This is the overall plan we have for this batch. Okay, so I'll go through few of the basic things. I'll show you how simple the R programming is. You can either write your code in a console, or you can also write the code here in the editor window. Why we cannot write in the console, I'll tell you, but let's do few things first. Just write a simple code 5 plus 6, and then after enter. Result is 11. In a SAS, if you're doing this, you need to create one data set, right? A equal to 5, B equal to 6, and then use this operator or sum function. 5 plus 6, 11. Let's say, let's create a variable, or we can also call it here as an object. Create an object or variable which have the value as, let's say, value it has as 5. We use a equal to operator in a SAS, but in a R, this will work, but this is not the like preferred. We should use something called as the operator. If you use command minus or alt minus, yes, alt minus. In your Mac, you can use command minus. This is called as the operator, that you are assigning the value for the X variable or object here in R. So let's say we are assigning the value of X as 5. For Y, we are assigning the value as 6. Wanted to see the sum of this variable X and Y. Just use the sum function. Sum function, and as you know that whenever you use function, there would be a open and close bracket. This was the case even in the SAS as well. Sum of X variable and Y variable, and just write enter. See, you can see the value as 11. Problem is, if you write the code in your console, this is running, but you can't save this program. So that's the reason we should always write our code in the editor window, in the script. Same thing, 5 plus 6. And here to run this code, you need to select this and use this run icon, or there is a shortcut key, which is shift command enter. If you are on a window, you have to use shift alt enter. You can see the value 5 plus 6 value is 11. And I can save my program. Window S or command S, you can save your program. So let me save this program, R underscore code. Extension is .r. If it's a SAS program, we have to use .sas. I'm saving this code, and it is saved under here. Yes, R code. Same thing, we can create the object alt minus X equal to 5. Value of Y is alt minus. This is called as the operator. We are assigning the value for X and Y. Value for Y is 6. And we are trying to find the sum of this sum function, sum of object or variable X and Y. Value is control enter 11. Let's do something else. Let's create a one dummy data set. This is what we usually do even when we learn a SAS, that we create a one dummy data set first. Here in a R, a data set is called as a data frame. But since we all are SAS programmer, we'll use the term data set here. There is nothing wrong in that. We can still say it as data set. So let's create a data set which will have a variable. So let's say we have a variable. We have a variable's first name. Name has the value as, let's say, A. And as always, this is a character variable. So you need to mention this within the quotation you have to mention. First variable you have created is name. There is no need of a semicolon. Second variable, let's say, is age. And one thing, R is a case sensitive language. SAS was not a case sensitive. Value for age is, let's say, it is 19. Value for sex variable is character variable M. We have created a 3 variable. Let's create a data set from this. So for that, we need to use a function called as data dot frame. And you will see the suggestion here. It is from the base package. These are the packages name it's coming up. So whatever function you are using, it belongs to certain packages or library. I'm using data frame to create a data set and then mention the variables. So I will have in this data set, I will have name and age. After comma you mention, and then we wanted to have a sex variable. We are creating a data set using this 3 variable. And we need to assign this data set to some data set name. I have used the function, but I'm not assigning it to some data set. So whatever the value would come up, that one I will assign to a data set, let's say test. Again, use the assignment operator. That means whatever the value is coming up from this data set, from this function, would be assigned to a test data set. If I run this, let's see what happens. Select everything and control enter. And you can see your data set is created. Data set name is test. It has 1 observation and 3 variable. To view this data set, by default, it will not display the data set in your software, in your application. In a SAS, if you run our program, by default, we can see our data set in a output tab. Or if you're running a procedure, something, it will come in a result tab. But that's not the case in a R program. You have to use the function to see the data set. The first function is to view the data set is just view. And you can just mention your data set name. If I run this, see here, this is your data set. Another way is, if you don't want to use this function, you can directly come up here and double click on this. It will open the data set. If you don't want to use the function. In a real time, we don't have to write the view. Because if you're running this data set, we are running the code, we can directly double click. This is much easier than writing the program here. Create one sample data set. How we will create a data in a SAS. We'll write our first code in a SAS. Whenever you have to create a data, you will write a keyword called as data. And then after you mention the name of the data set. Let's say I'll keep the name as something as test. This is my data set which I am creating. End of the statement, I'll just mention semicolon. Whenever there is an end of statement, you will say we are writing a SAS statement here. At the end, you will mention semicolon. Now, if you're writing a code, you will consider data from somewhere. Or that is not required as of now. We'll discuss that after a few minutes. We'll create a data here itself instead of considering it from somewhere. So if you're creating a data, what I told you, we'll have a column and observation. How to create a column? You'll use a keyword called as input. Then you can mention your column name. Let's say I'm creating a data for a particular person, and I'm mentioning their name, their age, and their sex. These are my three different variable, or in a layman language, it is a column. End of the statement, semicolon. One thing you have to keep in mind here, whenever you are mentioning a variable which will have a character value. So basically you have two kinds of data. Anyone is aware of what are the two data types we have in a SAS? No worries. So we have basically two kinds of data. One is your numeric, one is your character. Let's say I have value like support at smartclinical.com, and I have my number, let's say. Then after, let's say I have combination of number and some text. Again, let's say I have number and I have few special character. Variables are, or character data types are having will have the text. If any variable contains the text value or a special character, that becomes character type. This is your character data type. One is numeric, which have the number. If any variable, so if you see here, these are the text. That means these variables are character variables. See here, I have here engine size is the numeric variable because it has the number or decimal places. This is the numeric data type. If you wanted to know in detail, you can just go here and you can, if you click make here, make is a character variable. If you see here 1, 2, 3, this is the numeric variable. Type is numeric. This is what kind of variable? My phone number?
Numeric.
Numeric. What about next one? This is the combination of text and number. So what is the data type for this? Don't feel hesitant. Think a little.
I don't know, sir.
Okay. So whenever you have the combination of numeric value and a character value, that becomes character. That variable type is character. Numeric will have only the numbers or decimal places one. Other than that, if you have any kind of text in the variable, or even if you in the next example, I have here number along with some special character. This becomes your character type. Character variable have text or special character. Numeric will have the numbers or decimal. Let's say I have value as 1. That 1.5 is the numeric data type. Clear? So whenever you are creating a variable which is of type character, you have to mention a symbol called as $. When I was learning SAS, how I remember this, that I have to put I used to forget to put the character symbol. And then after I used to execute this code, and obviously it will give an error. Age will have like number like 10, 20, 30, 40. So this is a numeric data type. So I don't have to mention anything here. Sex it will have the value as male, female. So that is again become the character variable. So I'll say here, I'll keep $1 here. You can, that's not required to keep a space. Without space also it will work. So how I used to remember is that what happened in a society, like someone's character is like, they tend to judge it by how much money they are earning. And dollar is the most valuable, I mean, most value it has, right? Dollar, most strongest currency in the world is dollar. So I used to remember like that. Someone's character is judged by how much money they make, and dollar have the highest currency, right? So you can mention, you can remember like that. Is it clear? To,
Yes, sir.
to create the data, you will mention a keyword as CAR, and also SAS is giving you suggestion. If you write the partial only, you are seeing the suggestion that what can be the statement. That makes it's very easier for you to follow the code, what you have to write, or to avoid any kind of spelling mistake. Cards, end of the line, semicolon. Now we'll create a data. Let's say I have the name, anything, A. I have three subject, not subject. Let's say I have three person, A, B, and C. The name is ABC. Keep a space, one space, and let's say their age is 10. Second person have the age 20. Third have the age 30. One space. A is male. B is, let's say, female. Third one is the male. I have created a data. After that, once you are done with the providing the value of a data, you can just mention semicolon. Now everything is done. Now you have the variable and the observation. These are your observation basically. Simple language, these are my rows. These are my columns. Now I have to tell the SAS that my code is complete. You can execute it. For that, you can say, you can mention run statement. That's it. Every time ending the line of a code with a semicolon. And select this. Either you can use the shortcut as F3, or you have the run symbol here. You can click on that. Now you can see you have a data set created. This is the first data set what we have created here. This is my column or variable. This is my rows, or I should say it as an observation. Makes sense? If you click on this, you can see the type character, age is numeric, sex is character.